Good morning, beginning farmer friends. Today is a day where we get ready for a storm. I don't know if it's going to storm. My hope is that by getting ready for a storm, it doesn't storm. But according to the weather forecast, actually I watched the forecast this morning on YouTube and it said we could get 4 to 6 inches or 15 inches. I don't know how that works out, but that's what they said. There is a lot that I want to get done, just things that we want to pick up so that they're not underneath the snow. But also, if we really do get 15 inches, I don't think we're going to get 15 inches. I should probably have some wood, because if we have a foot of snow, it's going to be really difficult to get to the trees. So I've got my chainsaw in the bucket here. I've got my chainsaw sharpener right here. We're going to sharpen the saw and head to the woods. A few years back, I think it was Wrangler Star, he used and reviewed this Timberline chainsaw sharpener. I was a steel tech for a couple years, and just using chainsaws, of course, I know that it's really important to have a sharp chainsaw. I do not have a bench chainsaw sharpener here on the farm, so it was great when I worked at the chainsaw shop, but I wanted a good thing other than just a hand file. I will be the first to admit that there are people out there who are amazing with a hand file at getting their angles right and everything, depth just perfect. I am not one of those people. So I saw Wrangler Star use this Timberline sharpener and I got it. It's like $100. It's not cheap, but it seems to work pretty good for me. Once I get the workbench and the shop set up, I will be getting a regular bench grinder, because that way I can get all my angles right on both sides of the chain. It's a little more difficult with this to do, but I'm not going to give a tutorial on how it works. Maybe I'll put a link down in the description below to Wrangler Star's tutorial on it, because his is good. Mine would be not as good, but I will sharpen my saw before I go out. Bar oil, fuel, chainsaw, eye protection, leg protection. Let's go cut some firewood. Today is just trying to get a little bit of everything done. I'm not going to get it all done, so this stack of wood right here is not a huge stack of wood. It'll last me a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how cold it is. I do have some logs up at the house that I can cut. I left those because those would be good to do when there is snow on the ground, if there is snow on the ground. So I came down to the woods to get this stuff. Since I don't have the chains on the tractor yet, it was easy to get to. I drove in, cut it up. I'll take it back up to the splitter, and then we can split it as time allows once the snow flies. We're not going to get any snow. I'm banking on it. No snow. All this work getting ready means no snow. Since I got firewood on the brain right now, I want to kind of work on our firewood setup so we can get to this little parking area better, which means this wood splitter needs to move. Now, the problem with this wood splitter is it's got flat tires, so I can't just roll it over there, but I also like to set it on, I've got it set on blocks. I've moved it up about 6 to 8 inches, which just makes it so I don't have to bend over when I'm splitting firewood, which it really helps my back a lot. I got to lift the logs up a little higher, but it was hunched over working that hydraulics. I hated that. I'm going to come in with the 4010. I'm going to lift up this, back it around, and I'm going to put it in that grass spot over there. That way we can have easy access to this little gravel pad that we put in to park. I don't know what all we're going to park there. Stuff that we want to get out of the way. I got the splitter placed where the splitter needs to live. I got a bunch of wood dumped that needs to be split, a bunch of wood over here that needs to be split, and some stacked in the loader bucket already that needs to be stacked by the house. We're making some progress. I don't know what's going to happen with this storm. I've been getting text messages from my friends all day long telling me we're going to get ice, we're going to get rain, we're going to get snow. Who knows what we're going to get, but I want to be as ready as possible. I did put out an extra bale of hay for the cattle yesterday and a bale of straw for the cattle to kind of kick around and lay in. We're doing as much to get ready as possible. I'm not too worried about anything. I just want to be able to enjoy the snow when it comes instead of having to try to fight through snow and muck and yuck and things like that. So that's all we're doing out here today. Not concerned about anything, just, you know, we want to go sledding when it snows. I fixed my truck. I don't know if I told anybody that yet, but what was wrong was this plug had basically just, the wires had broke. So I guess I should say I didn't fix my truck. I fixed the wires that go to the outlet to plug my truck in. The truck is still broken or has some sort of issue because it should be able to start in this cold of weather, but it doesn't unless it's plugged in. Such is life right now. I'm somewhat at a crossroads of what I should do to get ready for this next thing that we have coming. I looked at lunch and it said 9 inches, 9.6 inches to be exact. Come on, Rosie. What do you think? 9.6 inches, Rosie? I just don't know what to do. I've got this wood in the bucket. I think I'm just gonna drive around and leave it in there until I finish filling it up. But there are some things out on the pasture that I think my wife would like me to move off the pasture. Maybe we'll try that. One of the things that I'm gonna get off the pasture is this building that I used to raise our meat chickens this year. Kind of my building in a pinch thing. That's gonna come off the pasture. This wagon right here, we call this the Gypsy Wagon because the guy that we got it from used to have shelves and stuff on it. He said it was his Gypsy Wagon. He took it around to flea markets and sold stuff off of it. And then way over there, I've got my Moco and my rake. I think we're gonna go move those behind the hoop house just so you can look out on 9 inches of snow and it's beautiful. That's the idea at least. Thing number 1 moved off the pasture. I've got it in place. The reason I put this right here is because it was easy to maneuver it to. I also have electricity in the form of an extension cord run across the top of the fence so I can put heat lamps in it if I wanted to. I put this extra dog kennel platform that we had, I put it right here. That way I can put a fence around it and I'll have a dry area for the gilts to come out and stand on. That's the plan at least. You know how plans go around Crooked Gap Farm. They're plans. They're not for sure. Next thing on the list, let's move the Moco. It shouldn't be that hard. Now that I got the Moco hooked up, I am remembering all the projects that need to be done on this before next year. There's the obvious project of that door that needs to be taken off and welded back together, straightened out. But also, as I was putting the jack away to move it over here, I remembered that the gearbox is leaking like crazy. That's why there's a funnel wired to it so I could keep putting gearbox oil in. I think I really need to take that gearbox off and take it to John Deere and have it rebuilt so that next year I don't blow this thing up when I'm doing a lot of hay next year, which is the plan. At least this is a piece of equipment that I don't have to repair, I think. I don't remember anything being broken on it at least. It would be nice if one thing was ready for the hay season. Next we're gonna move the Gypsy Wagon. As you can see, it has 4 flat tires. That's because who really cares if they have air in them? I don't care. It never goes any faster than 5th gear behind the 4010 or 4430 or whatever tractor I have at the time. Now we've got wide open sledding hills as far as the eye can see, except don't sled into that electric fence right there. It's not on, but it would still hurt. Next thing we're gonna do, and the other day somebody asked a question about like the romantic aspects of farming that maybe I've given up. Well, this is about as romantic as it gets, or not romantic, but this is one of the great parts about farming is that you have a big place for the kids. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna set up some snow fence for the kids in hopes that not only do we get the 9 inches of snow that they're predicting, but that we get some wind to go along with it before it turns into freezing rain and ice and clamps it all down to the ground. Snow fence is kind of a crapshoot in our part of southern Iowa. There have been years that we've lived on the farm where having a snow fence like this would have created some huge drifts on one side or the other. Last year was the first year that we put up this particular fence and it created nothing because we didn't get a lot of snow. And the one time we did get some snow, I think it iced over it once it snowed, and then it rained ice on top of it, which unfortunately is one of the things they're predicting on this storm, if it comes. Tomorrow's video is going to be a dud if there's no snow, that's for sure. I've been hyping it up big time in this video. It's kind of unbelievable in a believable way, but no takers on my needs a little repair chick brooder, so I'm going to scavenge the hinges and hardware off of that, and it's going on the burn pile. Also, no takers on these plastic shelves, but I have a place in the shed that I can use them until I get some good shelves, and then if there's no takers, I'll take them to a donation place or a garbage place. With opening up sledding hills in mind, let's see if the red truck starts. Let's see if the red truck rolls and then starts. That's what I was meaning to say. It didn't work. Now I've got a truck in the middle of the hill. Well, we'll let that contraption run and charge for a little while and hope that it's not too cold, and then we can get enough charge in the battery to get that red truck going. I just wanted to back it up like 50 feet to get it out of the way, so this would just be all wide open, and such is life with the red truck. I'm kind of done with the red truck. I took the insurance off of it. It's really not a part of my life anymore. I think at this point in the storm preparation, I'm going to take what's called a calculated risk. The last forecast I looked at had the snow starting at somewhere around 11 a.m. Of course, yesterday the forecast I looked at had the snow being 1 inch, and now it says 9 inches, so I don't really know what to believe. But the risk is this. I don't have room in the shed right now for the 4010 because I've got that pile of lumber right there. I've got the grinder mixer right there, and there's not enough room in between the two to put the 4010 in. I could move all that lumber right now and get the tractor put away, but I'm going to take a risk because I also have all this firewood that I want to start splitting. It's getting dark, and I've got the 4010 down there charging the truck right now, so calculated risk that I will get up in the morning and it will not be snowing. I can move stuff around in the shed. I can finish splitting this wood and put it on the wood rack. And all of that will happen before it starts snowing. In a perfect world, I guess I could split wood while it's snowing. I do enjoy working with firewood while it's snowing. There is also this that should probably happen. My son went and got his tractor that he's going to restore. More on that later. And he brought back these chains with him for the 4010. I feel like those should go on. I'm not very good at putting on tractor tire chains, so I probably should start early because it's going to take longer than expected. Maybe it won't snow at all, and then none of this will matter. Let's go with that. Say goodbye, sheep. Thank you so much for watching today. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all of those YouTube things that I ask you to do all the time. I really appreciate it. I really do hope it snows tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we'll do like a play-by-play of the big southern Iowa snowstorm, or the big southern Iowa snow dud that eventually has ice and rain and who knows what. I hope you guys are having a great day. If you love snow, I hope you're getting snow. If you don't like snow, I hope you're not getting snow. I am really just hoping the best for you all.